Ayan. I think we're
Ayan
live
na.
now. Yes.
Okay, good evening everyone and good evening
Ah,
our beloved Fees. Hello. Welcome.
Hey.
Sawadika.
Sawadika.
Sawadee ka!
Ay, sawadee ka po.
So we'd like to welcome everyone to our weekly P Friday series review. Yes, where we actually review our beloved BL series every Friday evening. We are BBS, also known as BL Squad, and we are combined together with our shared love for BLs during the quarantine period. And we are composed of P. Ange, P. Mark, P. Maya, myself, P. Mike, P. Nico, and P. Patty.
Yay.
Yay!
I think there's an echo.
Yeah.
Umi-echo ba?
Wala na. Ay, meron pa.
Okay, and now we will talk about the series that we will review for the week.
Hello?
Sino magdi-discuss?
Ay, Ange.
Ladies, take it
Ay,
away.
hello, sorry. Sorry, hindi naka-practice. So, hi everyone. So I will be giving an intro about Together. But before that, I just want to share in detail how I actually started watching the series. So baka sakaling mas ma-appreciate ng mga tao yung perspective ng isang bandwagoner sa BL show. So, on Twitter, parang I came across this Thai hashtag, parang which was number one trending in the Philippines. So, parang, syempre, na-curious ako. Pagtingin ko, wow, parang it's a romantic, gay series, and parang I find it interesting. And then the leads are also both handsome. So sabi ko, sige nga, check ko. And then I searched
Yun
for a
talaga
summary.
yun.
Yes, I searched for a summary to get the gist of the story. But then, nung chinek ko, actually, I was quite disappointed na parang, it's not something new, na fake dating na naman, but parang ginawa mo lang two boys yung leads. So parang, okay, I'm not that interested. Then, the week after, it was trending again. Then this time I tried watching a clip. And then parang I remember that was the episode 7. Parang they were on the street talking, and Sarawat was leaning on Tyne. Then when I watched that clip, parang hindi ko na ma-explain why I got so kilig with such a simple scene. So, yun, sobrang na-amaze lang ako about their chemistry. And that's when I finally decided na, okay, I'll start watching this series, but I'll wait siguro for the whole series to end first. So, yun. And then, weeks after naman, I saw Patty's IG story. It was like 12 a.m. na, and I just finished working. Parang she was so hyped about the series. Then doon ko na decide, fuck it. I won't sleep. I'll start watching it now. And then I finished episode 1. Sabi ko, okay, mababaw talaga siya. Pero na-enjoy ko. And then I decided, okay, I'll continue with episode 2. And eventually, I ended up watching episodes 1 to 10, and I finished parang until 11 a.m. na the next day. So I was
Oh my
super
God.
hooked, and parang it was the most memorable thing for me sa whole quarantine na to. And for me, that was the magic of Together. Parang the story is really mababaw per se, and some aspects may be unrealistic or questionable, but when you watch it,
Okay.
it's impossible for you not to feel good. And then yun, I guess it also came out at a very perfect timing kasi quarantine and everyone was stressed. So there, that's my intro for Together. So it's basically about fake dating.
It is. Diba it all started with, siguro just to give an overview of what Together is. It started with Tyne. Si Tyne, si Tyne na freshman sa isang university. And then, nagkaroon siya ng admirer, si Green. And then, si
Yes.
Green is following him everywhere. So, kasi hindi naman technically type ni Tyne si Green. And to stop Green from following him around, ang solution na device ng mga kabarkada ni Tyne is that for Tyne to find a fake boyfriend. And nakita niya yun sa school heartthrob na si Sarawat. And that's where their story began. So, siguro, one of the reasons why nakaka-attract you together is, let's admit it, ang gwapo talaga ng Brightwin. Iba talaga yung visuals nila. And then
Yeah.
from there on, I think what kept us hooked with the story is that simple lang yung story. It's the simplicity of the story that made it charming, that charmed us to actually watch the series until the end. So yun, na to the point na yung mga interviews nila, inaabangan namin, and nanood pa kami ng Global Live fan meeting last Saturday. Ibang level! So, yeah. So I think that's it for me. Mark, do you have anything to add?
Siguro ako naman, ay sorry. Hello? Okay.
No, Mark.
Ayan. Siguro what's relatable then with Together is kasi like P. Ange earlier, she mentioned na nagte-trend kasi siya every week sa Twitter. So that's the point kung saan naging interested yung mas maraming tao. And eventually, yun nga, napanood na rin yung mga other BLs. Parang yun yung turning point and tipping point nung BL sa Thailand na para mas makilala siya. So, yung Together yung parang nag-open ng doors for baby BL fans like us na manood ng not only Together but also other series. And at the same time, ayun nga, siguro a brief introduction lang for Together kasi it's, to be honest, there's nothing special with Together. After having watched many series, there's really nothing special for it. Except for the fact that it's the first BL series many of us have watched.
Right,
so it
right.
charmed us in such a way na since it's the first time, so there's a special place and spot for us since yun yung nag-open ng world for us dun sa other series pa. Na eventually, we are not disappointed naman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Perfect. Oh, before
Totoo.
we move forward, no, pa-shout out the muna one of the viewers now, Ben Ayonon, no. Parang diba?
Hi, Ben.
So, hi Ben, thanks for watching.
Hi, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
So, meron siyang quick question daw. Ano daw po ang recommended nyo for new fans? Ano daw dapat ang pwedeng unang panoorin na series para pumasok ka sa BL world, so to say?
Ang
Actually,
entry
this
point
one,
namin
this is level one.
together.
Go.
Kasi ito yung entry point namin ni Ange.
Actually, marami. Maraming katulad
Oo.
natin.
Siguro Together, no? Pero
Oo.
marami
Level
namang
two.
others dyan.
Pero marami.
Okay, just
Tutus lang
Marami.
pala. Tutus, yeah.
Siguro,
Sotos.
Sotos. I would also recommend
Sotos.
Sotos.
Oo.
I agree. So, siguro for our next nating live, we can probably have a list of like top 5 recommended first series to watch for the new fans siguro later, no?
Yeah.
Yun yung pwedeng
Sure.
share. So,
Yeah.
shout out din sa boss namin na si Sir Ali Licarte. Thanks so much for doing.
Sir Ali, hello.
Hi, Ali.
Sir Ali, hello. Sorry ka.
So at the moment we have around 7 viewers already. Okay, so yeah. Okay na. So Mikey or Maya, How do we start?
The
Don't
first
mind.
question, I think we will first talk about the character and series development. How do we feel about how the plot developed throughout the 13 episodes?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, guys, go!
Tagaan
Sige,
tayo
ako, I
din.
will start. I will start. Ako, what I
Sige,
like
go.
about the feelings that I felt all throughout the show, if I were probably to put it in a Richter scale, as in para lang siyang laging nasa taas, it's like steadily on the top in terms of happiness. Tapos
Okay.
siguro, sorry for the spoiler, at the last two episodes, parang it just suddenly drops you. Like a ball from the 10th floor of a building. As in, parang ang dami biglang intense feelings at the end of the show, which I think some people super duper love or some people super duper hate. But for me, or super duper hate, diba? For me, it works for me actually. Na ang dami
Mm.
feelings towards the end of the show. Na parang it keeps you kilig all throughout the show for the first 10, 11 episodes. And then at the last 2, 3 episodes, it just pours a lot of emotions on you, which is good for me.
True. True.
Yeah, true.
Can I go next? Kasi feeling ko mas may insights tong apat eh. Sila Mark, sila Ange, and Mike. Parang more like, more like siguro personal take ko lang on the series. To be honest with you, it was my first series technically na pinanood ko. Kasi I don't know if it was Mike who recommended it. Tapos panood ko sa YouTube. And then, tama yung sabi ni Mark kanina, medyo mababaw. Nothing special about the series eh. Parang,
Mm.
it was kind of young, it was kind of masyadong pa-sweet and pa-bebe, so to say. Tapos medyo hindi ko nagustuhan. And I was transitioning from the typical two forward na series sa Netflix na very western yung feels, ganyan.
True.
Parang it wasn't really a good transition for me to be.
The typical
two forward. Yeah. Okay. Tapos, so I opted for one series, which we can probably have another review on. Pero technically, together yung second series na pinanood ko. And then siguro from the first series na pinanood ko na medyo forward ng konti and revealing, nag-transition ako to something that is sweet, young, and quite innocent. Ganun yung feel ko sa Together. Eh. It wasn't really that special. Pero ganun yung overall feeling and emotions ko. It was sweet, young, it was youthful, it was innocent. No? In terms of the plot development, parang it wasn't that revealing eh. Di ba may mga nag-trend po on Twitter na yung high five, di ba? I wasn't sure about that. Huwag na rin mag-high five. Tapos hindi ko na-guess.
Oo, yun yung closing.
Yun yung closing eh. Hindi tama eh, kasi doon nag-plummet bigla yung plot. Parang high five lang, yun lang best yung ipakita, no, na pwede nyo mapakita. So, although I don't think that not revealing too much in the series is a bad thing. Kasi I think doon nakuha yung audience, especially the Filipino audience, na parang, di ba baka ma-shock yung mga Pinoy na parang may naghahalikan sa series, no? Kaya siguro nakuha din nila yung Pinoy na audience at some point, no? So, I think for me, parang there were some areas or some scenes that were left to the audience na to think, especially yung high five part. Parang, totoo, barkada levels lang kayo.
You wanted more.
I wanted more. Parang totoo. Diba? Yun lang. Diba? So, ayun. And then, siguro, I also like the series because ako, meron akong sort of measure of what a good series is and what series is not really that good. No? I would always look for a crucial point or element. So yung nagpapa-excite sa akin. And to me, nabigay naman ng plot yun. Yun yung time na nagkaroon ng character shift or character reveal si Sarawat. Di ba nung una, hindi pa siya masyadong emotional. Parang siya may mask pa siya, may cover up pa siya. And then suddenly, hindi ko alam kung saang episode na yung latter part na, no? Yung biglang may reveal na matagal na pala niyang ina-eye si Tyne. And that to me was a crucial point. Sabi ko magandang nilagay yun sa plot. Pero pag tinanggal yun sa plot, yes, no? Pag tinanggal yun sa plot, siguro super flat nung buong kwento ng series talaga. And I think I will have to agree with Maya also na parang medyo nag-plummet pababa towards the end yung series kasi excited na ako sa build-up eh, no? Biglang sa last two episodes, parang yung totoo, yun na yun. mabaklang to, diba? Diba?
At saka grabe yung
Yeah.
last 2 episodes talaga, na parang lahat sila sabay-sabay nagka-problem.
Exactly.
Oo.
Ganun
Totoo.
ba yun? Anyway, we will leave that discussion to the rest. No? Pero siguro in terms of character development, gusto ko talaga yung, although gusto ko yung portrayal and depiction ni Sarawat, pero mas na-drawn ako sa character ni Tai, to be honest with you. Why? Kasi from the start kasi, di ba siya yung chick boy na very overly confident na guy, na he would look for girls, na alam mo yun, pa-cute. Then towards the end, merong feeling of submission for Sarawat. And then parang kitang-kita mo sa mukha niya, facial expression, yung pag kinakabahan siya.
Yes.
And ang best scene for me, yung umiyak siya dun sa isang sulok when he was really heartbroken na. And to me, that was really genuine. And so, to me, ang parang best actor for me dun sa series talaga was Win talaga, no, as Stein in the series. Yun lang from my end.
Sige, I'd like to go next because I wanna add to what Nico mentioned earlier, no? With regard to yung plot development na, parang for me, I also want to mention that at the beginning of the series, a lot of time was spent between Green and Tyne, di ba? Parang na-highlight yung dynamics nila. Because the primary reason why Tyne wanted a fake boyfriend was because Green was going after him. So parang he was, ano ba to? He was determined, di ba? Tapos parang ayaw talaga siyang lubayan. Pero once nakuha niya na as a fake boyfriend si Sarawat, biglang nawala yung Green character. And I thought that a lot of fun moments could have been had, or there was a lot of opportunity there still. Tapos hindi na-capitalize kasi biglang nawala na yung side character na yon. So kumbaga, si Green, minsan makikita mo na lang siya inserted here and there, and then you realize na parang there's another character that he is apparently involved with. And it's revealed, maganda naman na na-reveal yon throughout the series, pero I would have wanted that storyline to have been explored as well. Kasi I think that was another dynamic that could have showcased a different type of relationship, diba? So parang hindi na-capitalize yun. Also, and I'm going to the side characters and plot development here as well. Yung kwento between si Puncom? I forgot. Si Frank at saka si Drake.
Si Mil. Si Mil. Si Pucong.
Si Pucong, tsaka si Mil.
I think that was also something, another dynamic that could have been explored, di ba? So, ang daming pwedeng mangyari. Pero parang, as far as the plot development goes in terms of the main characters, parang hindi rin siya na-develop actually eh. Kasi parang nag-plateau siya. And as Maya and Nico mentioned, medyo nag-dip nga siya, if not bumagsak, from the 10th floor, as was mentioned earlier. Kasi during the courting phase or during the ligawan phase, parang there were more exciting moments. Nung naging sila na, parang nawala yung excitement for me. Di ba? Parang I wasn't looking forward to their relationship as much as I was trying to find out, okay, what's gonna happen with Man and Type and Mil and Pukong, di ba? Parang ano mangyayari doon? Right? So parang, I think it could have been better if it was fleshed out a little bit more. And towards the latter part, tama nga, no? Parang crinam nila lahat ng conflict sa last 3 episodes. And for me, that was like another missed opportunity. Kasi hindi rin na-capitalize on yung conflict nung dumating si Pam. Parang yun na yun, dahil lang nakita yung nagyakapan, heartbroken na si Kuya, parang malaman mo na, ano mo yun, parang, baka naman friendly hug lang yun, di ba? Pero yun nga, maybe it was the storyline, maybe it was the lack of episodes, or maybe it was the writers themselves. But I feel that it wasn't highlighted as much. And let's talk a little bit about ano nangyari after that pivotal scene, di ba? Tama si Nico, very nice yung portrayal ni Win as Time. He was actually, for me as well, the best actor. Kasi when he saw that pivotal moment, nung umiyak siya, parang we all felt it. Alam mo yun? May kirot talaga. Alam mo yun? But then again, talking about plot, talking about what a logical human being will do. If you see your lover rush off,
Yes.
why would
Yes.
you not go after that person? What is going
True.
through your head? Obviously, this person saw something and it was misinterpreted. So my first
Right.
reaction, if it was me, is I would go after the person to explain what was wrong. It's not as if Pam was breaking down or having a nervous breakdown or having a
Oh
heart attack.
yeah.
I could leave her, right? Tapos eto pa. So, Win, time had a physical reaction to the point na he needed to be rushed to the hospital. Saka lang nagpakita
Right.
si
Pero what?
si Sarawat, parang, where were you all this time? True enough, tinanong siya ni Mel, where were you? Di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Si Mel,
Yeah.
hinayaan niya si Mel na dalhin si Tyne sa hospital. And when Tyne was in the hospital, he didn't even visit Tyne. So, alam mo yun, parang, what were the writers thinking? So I guess there were a lot of crucial moments when relationships needed to be figured out, relationships needed to be solidified. Tapos parang hindi nagkaroon ng opportunity because it was not in the script or it was not in the scene. So parang missed opportunity yun for me. And another missed opportunity, I would have to say, um, I forgot, oh my gosh, but it's another character.
Sino si Man or
Yeah,
Man type?
Right?
sige, I forgot.
Si
Pero
boss?
when I when I remember, I'll mention it later.
Si
Pero
Green.
sorry,
Yung boyfriend ni Green.
si
Si
Dim.
Pidim?
si Tim?
No. Sige,
Or si
if I
boss?
remember later on, I'll mention it. Pero I think one of the things that I can say about the series is, dapat yung sinabi rin ni Nico is during those moments na we needed a backgrounder or we needed another perspective, may flashbacks na pinakita sila, which ties it up, which gives us a different
True.
take
Yeah.
on the character. Like for example, yung kay Sarwat, tama. Parang dati pa pala. And also yung kay Type, 'di ba? Yung kay Man, 'di ba? Yung pinuntahan niya sa retreat, etc. Yun pala napapansin na rin siya before. So parang may mga revelations na gayon, which I particularly liked, no? Now, when it came to the last three episodes, I think there were a lot of time lapses and a lot of flashbacks that I felt were unnecessary.
Okay.
Kasi parang we all know what happened na eh. Pero kailangan pang i-explain through a flashback or kailangan pang i-remind tayo through a flashback. And I think there were a lot of flashbacks that could have employed better and more productive scenes. Like yung side stories ng mga ano natin, ng mga characters natin, di ba? So yun lang, parang I think it was a slow burn. And then at the very end, it was like a explosion. So parang hindi siya
Crash.
correct, parang not necessarily crash, pero parang it didn't progress in the pace that I expected and in the pace that I wanted. So kumbaga parang it was stop, go, start, go, parang ganon. So hindi na-develop yung mga side characters, hindi na-develop talaga yung plot, yung mga conflicts were either half-baked or easily resolved. And again, we go to that high five, di ba? Parang
Right.
there was supposed to be a conflict, but then the resolution was, kasi I was expecting at the end for may hug man lang sana.
Yeah.
Kasi you guys are getting back
Binigay
together.
na lang sana yung yakap, di ba?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of series and I've watched a lot of series na sex is not necessarily important. Ayun, I remember now, the missed opportunity. The missed opportunity was intimacy between the two main characters. Parang sabi nga ni Nico, parang barkadahan lang to. Di ba? Parang it felt more like super close friends than lovers. Kasi, kunwari, di ba? They had a place together. So they were sleeping, but hindi sila magkayakap. In fact, there was like a few inches between the two of them. Di ba? I mean, when you're living together for the first time and you're new in a relationship, you can't keep your hands off of each other. I know.
Oo naman.
For a fact.
Oh,
Diba?
for sure.
The time wherein you need to explore, di ba? So, parang,
Based on experience.
based on experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Never mind. Pero they were even given a bouquet of condoms. What
Diba?
happened? Okay, oh God, no.
Tinapon mo lang.
Tinapon mo lang, gathering dust in the side. Di ba? Parang, ayun, parang there was a lack of intimacy. And I think another, yun nga, also jumping off from our DBK, parang yung communication, I guess. Again, may kulang sa communication nila. Kasi yun nga, kunwari, may nakita si Tayin nga, yung pagyayakap. So, of course, hindi mo lang hinabol, hindi mo lang kinausap, hindi mo lang explain, di ba? So, may mga ganung bagay. And I think overall, I enjoyed it definitely, right? But I think there were just some characters that we missed out on, and some plot developments that we missed out on. But still, overall, a good entry, and also it can be a good first series for
True,
newbies.
yes.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Okay, who's next?
Patty, drop
Kasi
and
girl,
play. Ay, si P-Mark pa ka.
Ay, sorry.
Go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Yun lang.
Go,
Go ahead,
Mark.
Just picking up on what the three beautiful men earlier said.
Thank you.
Yan.
Somebody,
Siguro kasi when together when GMMTV actually when GMMTV showed or like released or published, or for a better term, the trailer of Together, I watched it na kasi, the trailer, when they released it before. So I was really expecting the same plot, or at least hindi masyadong malayo from the trailer. But while watching, actually, hindi ko na na-hold yung hindi naman sa na-hold, pero hindi ko na nasubaybayan yung when it started and yan. So, just like the Ange earlier, um, I started watching Together siguro by the 6th or 7th episode na din kasi nakalimutan ko na siya. So,
Okay.
pero yung I always see it kasi trending on Twitter. So inisip ko, should I check it out now or just wait for the whole series to end? Pas habulin ko na lang. But ayun, since quarantine, so pinanood ko na siya from the start. Yun lang, parang while fresh sa akin yung scenes from the trailer, I was expecting at least most, or if not all, of the scenes na pinakita sa trailer is makikita ko sa series. But eventually, for those who have also watched the trailer and the series, it didn't happen. Like, not all of the scenes in the trailer was shown in the series. So, I think, I don't know lang if siguro, as mentioned nga earlier, na nagkaroon ng dip down, or like, hindi, parang, for the world we live in, parang the series did not have a smooth landing. So parang, I don't know if they've experienced some challenges because of the pandemic, or were they cut off in shooting. Kasi, as you can see in the trailer, iba yung hair color ni Tyne, iba yung styling, iba yung grooming. So, I was actually looking for the brown-haired Tyne with the stubbles, pero hindi ko siya nakita throughout the whole series. So I think it was reshot. So I don't know if naabutan ba sila nung pandemic or whatsoever na hindi sila nagkaroon ng ganong time to carefully and seamlessly shoot and put pieces together. I don't know. Pero yun na, so since we're basing our review on what we've watched, not for the trailer, because I think the trailer is good. The trailer is really good. But since we're reviewing the series, the plot is, I don't know, was there a plot? Joke lang, meron naman. sorry.
it was the plan of a
Real
plot.
talk tayo.
You went there.
Oo nga.
Kasi, there were really, first, okay, sige, isa-isahin natin. First, the dialogue was quite questionable. Some of the script were like, huh? Okay, sige, I'll forgive you for that. Siguro, I don't know if the translation was different because we're just, as international fans, we're watching the subtitles. We're reading the subtitles while watching the series. So maybe it was translated in a different way. But yeah, we'll just base from what we watched, some of the dialogue and script were kind of questionable. Some of the script, or like the pasok of the lines, were not as, could be better. Lang ganun. Next naman, feeling ko kasi, the attempt was there. I applaud them for that. But there were too many things happening at each corner of different rooms. Like we have the Sarawat and Tan, we have the Pukong
Yeah.
Emil, we have this Man and Type. I mean, we're all good. Like the attempt was really good. It's just that I don't know if they're constricted with just 12 episodes, so hindi nila na bigyan ng tamang pacing each and every couple
Baka.
that they introduce.
Yeah.
Yeah, pero since you've introduced it, might as well make justice or give justice to the character.
I agree.
So yun. And siguro throughout while watching the series, siguro you'll enjoy it more if you don't think about anything while watching it. Or just enjoy watching it.
Right.
If
Correct.
you
Just take
enjoy
it
the
as it is.
characters, yeah, just take it as it is. Like don't think of because okay, another one, sorry, pumasok bigla sa isip ko. Another one is I'm not I'm not a film major. I mean, I'm into films, but I'm not a film major. But some of the angles, the cinematography, the editing, the lighting were kind of could be better. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero again, taking it with a grain of salt, just watch it as it is. So overall, I really enjoyed it naman. Like every episode that I've watched, parang me and my nieces and my nephew, some nephew, would tease each other na parang nagbabatuhan kami ng unan because of the kilig and everything. So the characters of Sarawat and Tayan came to life because ako personally I think the characters of Sarawat and Tayan came to life because of Bright and Win and not because of the storyline, not because of
Right.
um, the cinematography, the story, or whatsoever. It's just that as an ending note, I love Bright and Win more than Sarawat and Tayan.
Oh.
Like
Mm-mm.
I
Yeah.
became more hooked with Bright and Win
Right.
while watching their off-cam moments, while watching YouTube videos of their reactions or like behind the scenes. So dun ko mas na-appreciate yung Bright and Win. But overall, still, it's not a very good sorry. Pero it's still a good series to watch. Parang sobrang hater. Oh my god.
Grabe.
Alam ko na
Yun
kung ano
talaga.
bibigay na score ni Mark mamaya.
Hindi naman. Yun. May other series pa na mas mababa. Joke lang. Pero ayun.
Not about the car.
So ayun, siguro ano lang, nakulangan lang ako kasi as P Mike mentioned earlier, no, the height of the story or like the excitement they gave us at 100 agad. So okay,
Right.
sige, the challenge for them was how to sustain it. But
Sustain, correct.
sige, like they okay naman. I mean, na-sustain naman nila. Like, na-sustain talaga nila. Hanggang dulo ng series, hindi nila binaba yung 100%. So, it kind of lead, medyo nakakaumay lang sa dulo. Na parang, walang, sorry, ito na naman.
Walang big
Walang dip.
finish.
Yeah, walang dip. Walang dip yung story, walang yung plot. Lahat parang, I don't know, medyo half-baked yung binigay nilang stories for each couple. Yun lang. Parang feeling ko lang some of the scenes were, I don't know, parang filler na lang ba siya just to put out with editing and everything. Pero some of this, parang there could have been scenes put there better than the scenes they put. Parang some of the, yung, kasi hindi nila na-capitalize. For example, I know Tyne has so many friends. May barkada siya and they have their own stories. They have their own niches. Pero hindi nila nabigyang justice yung side na nagre-review ng food. So parang, okay, they go to restaurants and they review food. So parang, okay, so what's in it for story? Anong ina-add yun sa story? Parang ganun. And all the others, ano lang, yun lang, ang dami ko sinabi. I want to end it on a positive note.
But
I
I
want to end
think,
it on a positive note. But I think, joke lang. Sige. Ending it on a positive note, I like naman how they gave the chance for Bright and kasi Bright, although he's already a member of GMMTV for hindi naman so long, pero hindi naman siya bago sa GMMTV and Win as a newbie for the industry. So I think ano lang, it's a brave choice for them na put it out there, Bright and Win, na magkaroon sila ng sarili nilang series together, and eventually it worked because of the actors again. So ayun, in terms of character development, um, it's nice naman. Meron namang may mga konting twists and turns yung characters ni Sarawat and Tain. It's just that, yeah, as mentioned earlier, Tain was a better actor, or Tain had a better expression of his acting. Kasi
Yeah.
siguro while watching throughout some of the episodes, like episode 7, I was waiting for Sarawat, gwapo ka lang, wala ka bang wala ka, what? Go girl, give us nothing.
Galaw-galaw ako ma-stroke.
Oo.
Kahit nalulungkot siya, parang same pa rin yung face niya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tapos parang,
Yeah.
I was parang in every episode, I always see him doing this, like,
Oh my God.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
sige. Okay naman, sige. It's just that,
Nasa na yung positive note mo?
Actually, nag-walk out si Pipati dahil sa sinabi ni Mark. Pati, balik ka na.
Nag-walk out yung mga kaya fans dito. Pati
hindi, ano naman,
Joke na.
in my defense, yeah, ano naman, hindi, sige. For Together the series, on a positive note, effective siya in terms of giving the kilig and the shallowness of the story is there it worked for their advantage kasi in the time that we're in, so mas nakilala siya, mas umingay siya, mas madaming nanood. So yung reach niya sa mga tao is as in reach talaga. So it's good for them kasi publicity is still publicity. So since
Right.
we're all clamoring for acceptance, tolerance, and everything. So
Yep.
having a BL series in the mainstream is it's really a good thing for us, especially for June, which is Pride Month. So ano lang, so yun, it's a very good avenue for BL to be known, and at the same time for representation sa industry, parang to put us out there in the mainstream.
Right.
Yun lang.
Uy, sorry. Before I forget, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Mike.
we can.
Yes.
I want to add because na-mention ni Mark, no? So a couple of things. I remember the first missed opportunity din na na-mention ko, ay naisip ko. It was really, di ba, from the very beginning, hindi tinatago ni Bright or ni Sarawat yung affection niya for Tyne, di ba? And he was, parang, yun nga, he was representing that demographic na parang
Right.
he doesn't try to hide his affection. He doesn't try to change people's minds na he's not straight or whatever, or he's not gay, whatever. Parang he really is who he is, diba? So parang hindi niya tinatago yun, hindi siya nag-apologize for that. So that's why, yun nga parang at the big finish, parang I was expecting him to still be very demonstrative of his affection for Tyne. Pero yun nga, parang doon ako nagkulang rin Kasi parang, all throughout the series, you were parang unapologetic, parang mahal mo siya, type mo siya, gagawin mo lahat para sa kanya, di ba? Binahay mo pa nga. Tapos pagdating dun sa concert, anyari, besh, nakulangan tayo ng enerhiya. Di ba? Parang yun yung missed opportunity. Parang it was supposed to be the big finish. Pero I
Right.
didn't get that. Also, one of the characters that Mark mentioned, di ba? The friends. Yeah, interesting yung food reviews nila But there was one particular character that I really liked, and that was Fong. For me, siya yung best supporting dito. Kasi,
The best friend.
best friend. He was not only a best friend to Tyne, I think he was a best friend to all of us. Kasi
Right.
the advice that he was giving to Tyne could have been very well advice that could have been given to us if we were experiencing, let's say, challenges or issues with who we are and what we need to do, di ba? When it comes to relationships. So parang siya yung voice of reason. And I really appreciate that character. Buti nandun siya. Sana developin lang yung other friends. Ayun.
Si Kautong ba yun? Is that Kautong?
Kaya
Yes.
kauto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, and I just want to mention, because I just remembered, si AJ or JJ, parang lagi na lang siyang nasa background, tapos wala siyang kulay.
Contribution.
Correct.
Yeah,
Kasi
yeah.
nakita ko na rin yung Gifted. He was also, actually, both twins
Laging
were
ganon.
there. Tapos wala rin silang sarili nilang arc.
Talaga?
Parang laging background lang talaga sila. Extra lang talaga ang dating. So yun lang na-mention ko lang. Pero I like Fong. Good job on that.
Wait,
Sorry.
super. Okay lang. Ay, balik na si Pastor. Before we move forward siguro, I think this is just to let our viewers know, no, for those followers out there na mapapanood pa na to later kasi masasave naman siya later sa page natin, no. These are just our insights and we're coming from different backgrounds, no. So, kung mapapansin nyo, medyo critical kami mag-isip sa series. We are not haters, just to let you know, disclaimer lang po. We're not like coming together as haters of together, but we're here as individuals, no, giving our insights, no. So nagkataon lang talaga. Hindi po kami nag-usap, hindi po ito scripted, no. Kanya-kanya po kami nanood ng series na ito and we have our own insights at the moment, okay? Ayan. But very nice, very productive and very insightful yung first batch talaga natin. Let's hear out our ladies. Yan.
Let's hear out the biased fans. Look,
They will end
for-
it on a high note, on a positive note.
Depende. I'll share my disappointment. I
Go,
disappointments. Anyway, before sharing my opinion, I think I like to highlight lang na the story for me really is just a typical feel-good rom-com. And then compared to the BLs I've watched, ito talaga yung pinaka mababaw, as in, ang babaw niya. And then, I actually agree din with Mark. For me, I guess if it weren't for Bright and Gwen, I think hindi ko magugustuhan yung series, to be honest. Like, inimagine ko rin kung boy and girl yung character, siguro parang hindi ko siya papanoorin. So, I guess, I think talagang naging effective siya because of the actors. So, yun. And then about the my reaction for the plot, siguro kasi I have major issues about character development. I-exclude ko muna yung episode 12 and 13, yung medyo ayoko na episode. So, I actually like how they parang gradually portrayed yung pag-progress ng relationship ni Watt and ni Time. That's just for me. Parang every episode there's a new level of kilig, I guess. So,
Yes.
I'm not sure if mataas lang din yung happiness level ko noon kasi super stressed ako noon. Pero for me, as in, every episode, mas grabe yung kilig for me. And then the peak episodes actually are 4, 5, and 6. Like, those were my favorites. So, yun. Hindi ko rin siya actually ma-explain kasi like, yung pinaka-favorite scene ko, which is yung sa concert na, yung nag-play siya ng earphones kay Tyne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that
Sobrang-
scene also.
God.
Parang hindi ko explain, what the hell? It's just so simple, pero hindi ko alam bakit kilig na kilig ako pag nagtitigilan sila. Tapos, questionable scene din siya for me kasi bakit ka maglagay ng earphones tapos paano mo maririnig yung music na merong nagtutugtog na banda doon. So parang ako rin hindi ko ma-explain talaga bakit sobrang kilig ako. Pero questionable talaga yung scene. Pero go! I'm so happy about this! Ganon yung reaction ko. So, yun. For the plot, I agree din with Maya. It's just consistent talaga until episode wag na yung episode 10. Episode 1 to 11 parang were just parang consistently happy episodes. So yun, parang it was the perfect stress reliever talaga. And then for the character development, although I love the series so much, for me wala talagang character development. Ang nangyari is character destruction. Yeah, kaya I didn't like talaga yung episodes 12 and 13. Parang
Right.
there were so many character inconsistencies that happened on actually both sides during the last two episodes. Like, well, na-mention na yung kay Sarawat kanina. ipo-point out ko rin yung kay Tyne. Like in the last episode, it was so weird that suddenly he was seeking comfort from Mil. And they weren't even close pa nga. Like, how the hell did that happen? So, sobrang galit ako sa scene na yon kasi, yun. And I think, yeah, communication talaga yung issue. Pero, mali din kasi yung pagka-portray eh. Like, pwede mong i-highlight na communication yung issue, pero mali din yung parang ginawa nilang, ano ba to, turning point doon sa mga
Uh,
characters. So, yun. I think in my opinion also, what could have they tackled more if parang they wanted to add more drama or conflict, I guess, is to address the insecurity issues of time. Kasi
mm,
I think that would have been better kasi medyo
yeah,
na-build up na nila na Time was parang vulnerable in terms of relationships and
right,
parang he was an overthinker. So sana yun na lang yung parang in-address. Like, having started a relationship with Sarah, what could have changed about Tyne's character?
right,
Parang ganun.
right.
And then, what else? Also, I was looking forward sana dun sa shift ng character ni Tyne eh. Kasi parang throughout, he was just the receiver or reactor.
Yep.
Parang lagi na lang si Sarawat yung nag-i-initiate. And then, yon. And then biglang sa last two episodes din, medyo na-destroy yung image ni Sarawat na sobrang perfect. Tapos biglang, na sa and 13, na coming from episode 11 pa na when they showed for the first time Sarawat's perspective throughout the series. So
Yeah.
yon, sobrang panira for me yung episode 12 and 13. So, ano ba? Yan lang for me.
Ayun, thank you so much, Ange. I think we all agree naman on the last two episodes. I'll have to agree also with Ange, no. Si Patty siguro will be tuning in, will be coming in the room, inside the room later. Habol na lang siya, no. Kasi she's dealing with technical difficulties. We will proceed to the next ano ba next natin? So
The
I think
lessons.
the lessons or the
insights.
lessons. Okay. Ano yan, Ange? Yaz.
Go.
Okay, so siguro parang ano lang to, more like what was your key or major takeaway from the series? Or what was the message that you got from the series? Despite the gaps, the lack thereof.
Ako, I like how the series started and ended with thoughts of time. Di ba na parang it started with time thinking about many things, and then it also ended the same way. And that's actually how I got the message of the show, which is all about finding a pair. Now, whoever you are, there's always a pair in the
Right.
universe. Somewhere out there, there will be someone who's fit for you. And which was actually the case for everyone there. Na parang no matter what they've been through, all of them ended up with someone. Mil ended up with the brother.
Right.
Boss ended up with the other brother. Coincidentally, there are two brothers that are both gay. What a small world. Diba? But anyway, and Sarawat and Time also ended up together. And for me, that's also the reason why it was called Together, the series. Kasi they all found someone that they will be together with. And that's also the same for everyone. It's really just a matter of finding one.
Really ako naman.
Yes.
Yes, you're idealistic. Yes.
So yeah, I'll go next. Ayan, para i-reserve na natin sa lahat ng may insights on the
Oo nga eh. Parang yung progression natin from basic to intense.
Bakit sila?
Okay, charot
Actually,
na.
hindi pa ako sasalita kasi wala pa akong naiisip.
siguro ako parang like siguro parang synthesis ko na lang from the series. Parang I think common naman in all BL series pero mas na-highlight yung emphasis on sexual fluidity in the series eh. Kasi imagine yung development ni Tyne from the chick boy straight. Biglang na-confused siya. He was triggered by Sarawat with all the interactions and everything. So merong ganun. And I appreciate that. That's because I don't know, sexual fluidity. There's a possibility, di ba? Na it's not, di ba, yung misconception kasi ng tao na parang pag bakla ka lang talaga, pag straight ka lang talaga. I mean, we have to admit and accept that, sexuality is really fluid at the end of the day. It's on the continuum, sabi nila. But siguro on a very lighter note, I think ang nakuha ko naman is to love is an existential decision to be made at the end of the day. Taray, existential decision.
Yes.
Kasi parang, di ba, like for Tyne, it was really a decision for him to make Kasi from the straight chick boy na parang lover ng babae, diba? Biglang nagbago siya nag-decide. It was a decision to be made, and that made I don't know, that made his life different. Same goes with Sarawat. He decided to go after to Tyne from the very start hanggang dulo no nagkatuluyan na sila. I mean, to love really is, I think at the end of the day, is a purposive decision. Parang ano ba talaga ang decision mo sa buhay? It's not just being kilig or being in love. At least yun yung nabelabor ko from the series. No? I don't know kung yun din yung takeaway ng iba. Siguro hinukay ko pa talaga yung parang message na yun. At least meron, di ba? Yeah. Yun lang.
Cool.
Who's next?
Kasi parang like Pianch mentioned earlier, parang the plot is practically the same for, kasi di ba parang usually pag BL series may mga usual tropes, may mga usual themes, etc.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why this became popular in the first place was because because of the two main characters, no? And because we are in a quarantine, and eto yung parang pumasok sa YouTube habang kasagsagan sa YouTube yung mga tao, di ba? But I think one of the messages that I got from here is that parang ang laki talaga ng tulong pag meron kayong friends that are non-judgmental talaga.
Yeah.
Parang who are just there to listen to you, and no matter what your problems are, no matter what your decision is, parang they're there to support you, and they're there to make sure that you get through it. Parang they might not necessarily be of the same, let's say, outlook, or they might not necessarily have the same sexuality. Pero parang as long as they're there, parang you are able to power through whatever it is that you're going through. So for me, I think that's one of the things that I appreciated about this series. Especially for yun nga, dahil kay Fong talaga yun. Parang it's like you have that solid friend na parang kahit anong nangyari, andun siya. Parang you can crash at his place, di ba? He's the first that you think about, or parang he's the first to offer you refuge when you need an escape, etc. and so forth. And I think that resonates with a lot of us. Kasi whether gay, straight, bi, or whatever, parang if you have that one friend, you can make it through. So
Right.
I think sana all my phone, no? Yun.
Baka Patty naman can go next kasi
Hi.
she was out earlier. Baka you also still have some insights about the plot and then proceed to the message.
Yeah.
Alright, so, well, technically for the plot naman, I think you've covered everything already. So, yun nga, parang in terms of plot kasi, hindi siya very commendable since if you've been watching a lot of BL stories or a lot of BL series, there are a lot more BL stories with better plots out there. And
Yeah.
Together has just, parang ang dami niyang cliche na plots that have been rolled into the series. But then
Right.
again, minsan kasi it's the most cliche ones that you enjoy watching
True.
Yes.
Diba?
That's what I felt
Yes,
also.
I still enjoyed
I can't explain why. It's just,
Diba? Parang
Oo.
yun yung comfort zone mo in terms of the series. So parang
Correct.
katulad nun,
Yeah.
during the quarantine period, I'm just looking for something light, something, I don't know, relatable, something na hindi masyado nakaka-stress. And I think very perfect talaga yung timing nung pagdating ng Together na na-air siya during the time that we are on quarantine. And yun nga, the combination of all these various tropes that are rolled into one and together, talagang, well, may enjoy ka talaga.
plus the handsome actors. Joke.
Yeah, sobrang laking role na
Yes, super.
si Win yung actors because
Yeah.
ano ba, ang ganda nilang tingnan sa screen. And I think nag-contribute din yun kaya parang ramdam na ramdam namin yung chemistry nila.
Louder for the people at the back.
So yun, tapos siguro ano ba? Basically for the plot yun. Tapos medyo na-disappointed ako, just like what everyone else said. Parang the first 11 episodes, sobrang nakaka-hype siya. Kilig-kilig. Yung kilig level mo, mas ang taas nandito. Mataas pa sa'yo. But then again, come into episode 12, tapos episode 13, parang, ay, yun na yun. Parang, ay, nakaka-disappoint. Pero siguro kasi, ako personally, parang feeling ko kung medyo na-rearrange lang siya, na-rearrange yung episode, especially yung episode 12 and 13. If those scenes came in earlier, probably it would have made the series a bit more enjoyable, perhaps. Yun. Tapos in terms of character development, noong una palang lumabas si Win Meta Win sa screen as time, na in love na talaga ako.
Same,
Ang
sis.
bilis.
Same.
Talaga. Kinilig talaga ako. Pero that aside, I think maganda actually yung role ni Sarawat. Bright did a good job in portraying Sarawat. Kasi I remembered in one of the interviews, Bright said na si Sarawat yung type ng person na hindi siya very expressive. He tend to act or he tend to express his emotions through his eyes lang daw. So I think Bright was able to portray that. Although I think he also admitted na medyo nahirapan siya. But I think the actor that I think has really made together the series that it is si Win Win talaga. Siya talaga yung parang madadraw yung attention mo sa kanya. And aside from that, I also like how Tyne's character have developed throughout the series. From someone na, yun nga, yung chick boy, habulin, ganyan. Bigla siyang naging, pag nandyan si Sarawat, parang siyang poppy.
Yeah.
Diba? So, yun. So, and then, jumping to that, from there to what was the message of the series. As like you've mentioned earlier, ang ganda nung friendship ang ganda nung tropa, yung pagkakabuo ng tropa ni Tyne, saka yung tropa ni Sarawat. Kasi, they're very supportive of them. So, si Tyne, binibigyan nila ng advice, although syempre hindi naman lahat ng advice nila sound advice yon. Pero nonetheless, they were there to support Tyne. And even if na, yun nga, yung nandun siya sa part na Tyne is coming into terms with his feelings and everything else, diba? Parang nandun yung tropa niya, sumusuporta lang. And then there's also Sarawat's group of friends. Nakakatuwa sila kasi from the very start, na witness nila yung from the time na crush na ni Sarawat si Tyne up until the time na magiging sila na ni Tyne. So, nakakatuwa yun. And then, I guess, siguro, ano pa ba? So far, yun lang yung top of the mind ko right now. If I have other inputs, I'd probably I'd probably share in it.
Correct.
Yun.
Pero contrary naman to what Patty said earlier. Kasi Patty, unang kita niya kay Tyne, na in love siya kagad. Ako nung unang kita ko kay Tyne, hindi talaga ako nagpapuhan sa kanya. Tapos it was Bright who immediately draw my attention. Sorry, si Sarawat who immediately draw my attention. However, as the series progressed, parang I found Tyne more and more endearing. Na parang he became from a weird-looking smug guy to a very vulnerable as in baby na I want to hug, especially when he cries, as in one of the best actings for me. One of the best cries in a BL series for me.
No, I agree.
In
I
fairness,
agree.
nagulat ako sa opinion na yun.
Yeah.
I agree. Mm-mm.
Sino na next?
So, tapos
Okay,
na.
any messages
Okay.
pa? Any lessons or messages pa that you've
Ako
got?
for me, actually yung na-appreciate ko talaga, parang, well, it was my first BL series nga, and I loved how parang Thailanders pala are so accepting of the LGBT community in general. Like,
Right.
sobrang tuwa ako kasi parang normalized lang sa kanila lahat na yung mag-boyfriend. Tapos yung mga group of friends nila, parang, parang it's just normal for them. Parang walang judgment, walang anything. So, yun, parang for me, yung pinaka na-appreciate ko about this series. So, not actually about the plot, pero parang, yeah, yun yung sobrang na-appreciate ko. And after nga this series, parang I got curious na about other BLs and yun. Yun lang.
Um, Siguro I'd like to add to that also. Parang Together is a good starting point to other BL series kasi parang it's very light. Tapos parang it's a good intro na parang dito kasi very yun nga as what Ange mentioned earlier, parang very normal yung walang judgment in terms of same gender or same sex relationship, ganyan. Tapos it's very light, walang masyadong heavy scenes. So I think people, and I think that's also one of the reasons why magugustuhan siya ng mga Pinoy when it airs here starting on June 28th.
Yes, may plug si Patty. On I Want.
On I Want TV. Yun.
Yan. Siguro ako naman, together as a story, yung message na nakuha ko is, it's really important to find your core group of people. Be it for Tyne, his group of friends, and for Sarawat, his own group of friends. Na it's really important to find your core group of people who would understand you through and through. Not only understand, but parang will tell you off if there's something wrong with you, will celebrate with you if there's something good about it. Pero yun, it's really important lang na, especially in these times na we are really faced with the fact na we really cannot live alone. Like kasi we really need to find a group of people. So I think just like us, diba? This BBS is nabuo siya because of a common interest. So it's really important to find people na you have common interests with. It's
Right.
you have the same values and virtues with. So kasi it's let's just like together as a story. Lagi may disclaimer, sorry talaga.
Suportado ka namin, Timar.
Ayan.
Don't worry. We are open to ideas and opinions.
Yes.
May mga bashers dyan ewan ko sa inyo.
Sorry, mabait po ako. Joke. Ayan, yeah.
We're very open to constructive criticism.
Oo.
Yun. So yun I think yung banner message and lesson for me is that the importance of finding your core group of people.
Right.
Be it kasi your family nandiyan na sila. I mean, the day you were born, sila na yung kasama mo throughout throughout the life that you will live. Pero it's really important then na you also have your chosen families na mas makakaintindi sa'yo and at the same time, mas makakapagbigay ka din ng something for them kasi it's always a mutual and two-way relationship. Yun naman, again, together naman as a production, kasi, sorry, hiniwalay ko talaga. I just want it on a positive note. Pero yun lang, together naman as a production, kasi as we all know naman, that very controversial yung episodes 12 and 13. Parang, the plot is always there and then they introduce towards the end of the series they introduce a big issue na nag-plummet pababa yung story and parang they didn't have that much opportunity to put it back up ulit. So siguro lang if they put it in the middle, siguro may time pa sila to play with the roller coaster of emotions and the story. But yun nga,
I agree.
but still together as a production, it just shows na kasi they will air, diba, the Still Together. So it just shows na productions right now are very open to criticisms and kasi I don't know if yun yung reason for them na i-open yung Still Together. I mean, na ipalabas yung 5 special episodes because of the criticisms that they get until now. Pero sorry. Pero yun.
So, pambawi nila yun. Ganun.
Ewan ko kung parang pambawi ba nila yon na para or meron ba silang mga hindi na ilagay na could have been there so mag-release sila ng kasi we don't know if the Still Together the 5 special episodes will be a continuation of their story or just to fill the gaps in between. So that's something we need to watch then. Pero yun
I think the writer yung writer nag-release siya ng 5 more parang additional books ba?
Chapters.
I think chapters pala, sorry.
May 5
Chapters,
books.
yeah. So I think, chapters pala. So I think dun nakabase yung Still Together. Let's see.
We'll see ya.
Let's see.
Let's see.
But also,
At saka,
Yes, go ahead.
go.
sorry. Ayan. At saka also, they also listen to criticisms kasi with the success of DBK, I think yung DBK director yung magdidirect ng 5 special episodes. So it's parang
Yes.
no shade naman dun sa director ng Together, the series. Pero I think they listened na lang din to sorry talaga. They listened
I think for this one, mas issue yung writer for me.
right.
True.
Mm-mm.
So ayun, yun lang naman yung message na nakuha ko. Yun nga still, the importance of finding your core group of people.
True.
Thank you so much. That's very interesting. To all the viewers, dalawa lang naman. For those manonood pa nito, tama, Mark, na yung director ng DBK, yun na yung magiging director ng
Still Together. Yeah.
So that's one
Still
info.
Together.
So something to watch out for everybody. Thank you. Ayan, sino bang hindi pa nag-share? Si Ange ba? Or are we? Kasi tapos na tayo lahat, no? Tama
We
ba?
did. We all
Yeah,
did.
okay, good. All right, now, next natin is... Ayan, so parang quick na lang siguro. Si Mark was able to share a bit about the cinematography and shots na rin kanina. Siguro more like OST. Did you like the OST? Ganyan. Yung mga panning shots nila, yung mga angles and everything. Like, make sense ba to mga to?
Sige ako.
Go.
Sige.
Sige, Ange, go.
Ayun, marami tayong issues sa plot, pero I guess I would have to commend yung, in terms of directing lang, what I liked about it is yung the way they highlight the facial expressions of the actors. Kasi parang whenever they converse or there's a sweet scene, parang they naka-zoom in yung camera sa faces nila. So parang for me that was effective na parang even if it's just a minor reaction, like smirk lang or tinginan lang, nagbumukha siyang grand and it adds more to the kilig. Yeah. And parang they really capture those little expressions well, at least for me. So and siguro props din siguro sa acting ni Win. Si Win talaga. Kasi actually both of them naman are very good in terms of light scenes.
Right.
Parang yun. They in terms of yung natural facial expressions, they're both good na. So, yan.
I'll go next para super quick lang talaga. Siguro I'm not totally a big fan of the cinematography, to be honest with you. Pati OST, parang nabu-weirdohan ako ng mga cue ng music. May mga instances or scenes na ganun. Na medyo talaga ba? Dapat kailangan bang ganun? May mga panning shots, may mga certain shots na parang kailangan ba talagang ganun yung shots? Parang hindi siya effective. But usually, like, we are not really film majors. Kunwari, may mga tilting shots, di ba, up and down. It means something di ba? If the scene is like hopeless, it tilts down. If it's hopeful, tilting up. Parang ganun, hindi ako sure. And even yung panning parang ang weird lang yung na mga, kunwari, may mga scenes na nag-aaway sila. Biglang nagpapan. Parang bakit kayo nagpapan? Dapat dun ka, may mga ganung scenes ako na nare-recall. Although, I will have to commend yung particular scene, super favorite ko na nag-make sense. Hindi ko alam kung anong episode ito. Yung dalawa na sila, and it was at nighttime, and then nasa hallway sila sa campus. And then very blue ang color grading. Then dalawa sila magkaharap, nagkatinginan. May mga shots na parang yung symmetry kasi ang ganda ng pagkakakuha. And then, if you can recall, in that particular scene, ang conversation nila was parang they were trying to figure out what was going on between them. And then the scene there made sense kasi enclosure parang solid wall, and then meron lang parang daanan sa gitna. Yun lang yung parang may opening, and then andun silang dalawa sa gitna. Ang ganda ng kuha. Because number one, ang ganda ng ng color grading plus yung symmetry, nasa gitna silang dalawa. And then the conversation also made sense kasi enclosure eh. But technically, if yung feel ng viewer, ng audience would be like, parang nasa enclosure ka, na confined ka in a certain enclosure. And I guess it was also the feeling of the character, given na yun yung sinasabi nila, parang they were trying to figure out, parang what's between us? Ano bang meron sa atin? So yun lang scene na parang remarkable o nagtumatak sa akin. But the rest kasi medyo na-weirdohan ako sa mga shots. I'm not really a big fan, even the OS. Yun lang.
Ako naman, I think the biggest thing for me was really yung mga lapses, yung time lapse, yung chronology lapse. Kasi for example, di ba, parang when Tyne was supposed to go to the hospital, nadatnan siya ni Mil, and then Mil took him to the hospital. And then we have a flashback of Frank waiting in the restaurant. And then we have another flashback na nag-usap pala sila, na magkikita sila doon. So alam mo yun, parang it was this, it could have been done chronologically so that it would have made more sense na parang, okay, di ba? Parang instead of all of these series of flashbacks that for me parang made it confusing. So yun lang. I think baka nga naubusan sila ng time, they wanted to cram everything. So parang yung pagka-chop-chop nila, hindi na nagkaroon ng logical sequencing. And that was the really big issue with me, especially when it came to the last few episodes. Kasi parang, ano tong flashback na to? Sometimes you've already seen it tapos nandun na naman siya. Parang, okay. I mean, isang upuan ko naman pinanood. Hindi naman. Pero parang, natandaan ko naman kung ano nangyari before. Why am I seeing this again? Diba? Or parang it's something that happened in part 1 and they're showing it again on part 5. Alam mo yun, parang, okay, so, so it was really the splicing of the sequences. It could have been done better. But apart from that, I didn't really notice any huge, let's say, issues with camera shots, etc. and so forth. But I remember, and since it's been a while since I've seen this Vin, parang I remember there's a lot of like neutral and beige colors.
Warm naman siya.
Correct. So
correct.
I think
Yellow, orange.
Correct. I think that goes with the light theme of of the series. And I also think na since yun nga, medyo pabebe, that's why the colors are neutral.
Right.
Diba? Kasi parang it can go either way. It's not spicy. It's not hot. It's just medyo lukewarm. Medyo room temperature. So, I guess that also highlights yung minention mo na scene, diba? Kasi parang medyo pivotal scene yun. So that's why I think the color grading was different. And if you notice, and as you mentioned, parang naka-frame sila. So parang there's this enclosure. So parang it was supposed to be a decision for them whether they remain in the confines of that situation, or do they move forward, or do they, what do they do with it? That's basically it. So that's it for me.
Yay.
Speaking of flashback, there's a flashback which I really, really hate.
Sige, go.
Sorry, just one detail lang. And kasi I remember, di ba, when Tyne was brought to the hospital, tapos he woke up to bright, and then suddenly it's just a dream. Parang medyo nainis ako doon. Diba? And I guess a lot of people were also parang annoyed with it. Pero there's another scene wherein Sarawat performed for the last time in a concert. Tapos Tyne suddenly showed up. Tapos parang when Sarawat was waiting for the answer of Tyne whether he will forgive Sarawat, biglang nag-flashback to yung lasing moment when Tyne was just about to wake up from being lasing from a party. So because of that prior flashback, I thought, oh my gosh, is this another dream? Is everything fake? Parang, what the fuck? I'm sorry. And then apparently, the flashback continued and I was relieved it's just a flashback. Okay, sige. So the relationship is real. They went back to the concert after. Yun lang. Grabe na yung feelings ko dun in that specific part.
Classic example. Flashbacks kasi are supposed to help the story along eh. Pero if it confuses you, parang, what's the point?
Yeah. Agree.
Pipati yata.
Agree. If I may share, okay. Um, ano ba? Siguro in terms of the quality of the series, I've always thought na parang low budget yung series. Kasi
Mm.
in terms of
Mm.
location, there, yun lang eh. Yung location sa school lang, and then yung dorm nila, yung respective rooms nila, and then yung forest scene. Tapos, in terms of
The
production, hindi rin
forest.
siya masyadong malaking production. I felt that the concert, sorry,
Pati
sorry.
yung Pine
I've also
Spirit.
felt
Low
that
budget si Pine
yung
Spirit.
concert,
Correct.
sorry. Oo. Tapos, yung concert scene from episode 6, tsaka episode 13, I think, parang
Isang araw
sinat
lang.
lang siya ng isang
Isang
buong
araw.
araw. Tapos, isang
Oh.
araw lang,
That's
sinaksak lang
true.
siya.
It's
And
Oo, parang, oo. So, if you notice na parang yung episode, eto feeling, personal take ko to. Parang yung sa episode 13, di ba parang minadali nila yung, yun, the high five and
Mm.
everything else. Parang, yun kaya yun, nagmamadali sila, kaya
Right.
hindi na masyadong that's just for me na parang hindi na masyadong, ayoko sabihin hindi na pag-isipan eh, pero hindi na masyadong na-internalize kung ano ba dapat yung magiging, kung paano nila ipoportray, or
Mhm.
I don't know, or just a sequence. Yun. Tapos, in terms of the songs, while the OST, medyo weird yung pasok ng iba, I actually like the songs used in the series, yung scrub songs, kasi parang every episode, they
Yeah.
feature about one or two scrub songs. And I think na every scrub song being played in every episode, yun yung parang, yun yung theme or
time
yun yung
theme.
highlight.
Mm-mm.
Oo. So, I actually like that about the series. Aside from that, yun lang so far.
Pero
just
Patty,
to, I go.
Yes.
sorry, to be honest kasi, I there are what do you call it? There are series na merong isang song that you always remember about that series. But
Yes.
for some reason, I don't remember any of the songs in the series.
Right.
And
Right.
I don't know if it's
Oo.
maybe because it's not, I don't know, I don't even remember the opening song eh. Alam mo yun? Pero pag DBK,
Mm.
alam mo. Pag Love by Chance, alam mo. Diba? Parang you know the song. Pag Love Sick, you know the song. For some reason, I don't remember any of the songs here eh. So I don't know if it wasn't iconic enough or maybe it wasn't flashed on the screen when it was playing because some series do that, diba? Parang they show you the lyrics or the translation. But for some reason,
Correct.
I think that wasn't done here, and that probably added to me not remembering any of the songs. Yeah.
Okay. Ako feeling ko kasi the opening and the closing songs were not used in the series talaga. Parang they use other
Okay.
songs or they play
Right.
other songs all throughout. So kaya yung impact niya hindi siya as big as, let's say Theory of Love. Di ba
Yes.
pag umiiyak, let's say si Third, di ba? Parang yun yung song talaga, yun yung naging kanta niya. So for this one kasi walang ganun ka-iconic na song perhaps. Kaya parang hindi siya masyadong naaalala. Ay, sorry, hindi siya masyadong naalala. Wala masyadong impact. Yun, I think yun yung personal take ko doon.
Ako, if I may, ako naman baliktad. I super like the OST.
Mm.
And I guess it's just for me. Pero, siguro yung type of music din, medyo bet ko kasi yung mga River Maya feels, ganyan.
Yan.
And,
Okay.
in terms of the intro and ending, I also like kasi yung songs. It's just light and happy and very consistent siya dun sa theme ng Together. Yeah. And I also like yung videos kasi nung sa OST, ang cute-cute nung dalawa. Dun sa MV. And then,
Yung may
Yes.
Yung may
yeah,
yellow.
oo. And then for me din, okay din sa akin yung pasok ng mga scrub songs. And when I heard those songs, actually I tried parang searching those sa YouTube and then ano yung translation. And sakto perfect yung parang lyrics niya pala apparently dun sa mga seeds na kung saan nila sinisingit yung music dun sa seeds na yun. So yun.
So yun, ako naman. Ba't ako lagi yung last?
Kasi ikaw yung expert namin.
Parang, ako tuloy yung nalabas sa hater na
Views and opinions of do not reflect the views.
Okay. Sige. I actually like naman yung kasi some of the scenes kapag warm yung undertone ng color grading, it shows na warm yung acceptance ng characters while they're portraying the scenes or like they're doing the scenes. Pag naman medyo cool and dark, so meron ewan ko kung consistent throughout the series kasi ang tagal ko na rin siyang napanood. Pero pag medyo dark and cool yung ambience, medyo meron silang problem or meron silang, or, I mean, may problem na sinosolve yung characters or may problem yung characters with another character. So there's conflict. So yun naman yung na-appreciate ko sa kanya na kapag warm yung undertone ng grading ng scene, you know na it's a feel-good scene na happy-happy lang. Pero kapag medyo toned
Dark
down
or
and
cool.
dark and alam mong yeah, so they made naman they did a good job on that. Ano lang, a very particular scene lang yung parang kasi it's a pivotal scene for me, yung episode 12, yung umiyak si Tyen sa stairs. It's a very pivotal scene na alam natin yun yung one of the highlights of the whole series. Questionable lang for me yung angle ng pagkakakuha na parang why is Tyen crying behind the stairs and behind the grits of the fence. Parang the camera should have been placed like in front of Tyen or I don't know, siguro si Tyen by the time of shooting while he's a good actor pero baka challenge pa for him yung pag-iyak like on cue, so I don't know. Pero could have been better lang if the camera was placed in front of him rather than behind
on top of him.
Parang
on top of the stairwell.
Okay.
Bakit?
Pero ayun, wala lang. Pero ayun, medyo ano lang. That yun lang yung medyo sayang for me yung shot na yun. Pero still a good scene. It's still a good when still portrayed the scene really good. In terms lang din sa song, parang actually, kanina, nagpo-phone ako kasi hindi ko maalala yung OST ng Together. Yung pala, apparently, it's the song na kinanta ni Max. Max is also a GMM artist. And I can't remember the melody. I can't remember the lyrics. I can't place it in my head. Kanina pa ako nag-iisip kung ano ba yung OST. Kasi mas nag-click sa akin yung kanta ng Scrub na Kangu na kinanta ni Bright. So, while Kangu, diba? So, while Kangu is not the OST of the series, parang mas nakilala siya. I don't know if because Bright sang it or may rendered version siya. Pero, mas tumatak sa akin yung kanta ng Scrub kesa dun sa mismong OST nung series. And yun, as mentioned din ni P. Ange earlier na maganda yung pasok nung may ilang pero may mga magagandang pasok yung songs dun sa while pinapanood yung scene kasi fit yun nga sinearch ko din kasi yung meaning ng ibang songs na nagfit siya dun sa mood and tone nung story at that scene. So okay naman, medyo ano lang may mga inconsistencies here and there, like especially yung hospital scene. I was so puzzled. Inulit ko yung episode na yon kasi hindi ko maintindihan bakit ganun yung nangyari sa hospital scene. And sorry, may isa pala akong medyo hindi ko na gusto. Hindi pala medyo, pero very questionable for me kasi I said earlier na yung magandang message for me nung series is finding the core group of people. Pero may isa akong naalala na si Fukong, parang hindi ko lang nagustuhan yung arc na binigay sa kanya ng writers in terms of yung si Mil kasi 'di ba Mil was still pursuing time at towards the end.
Yeah.
Hindi ko lang nagustuhan yung character ay yung dialogue na sinabi or the placing of the character ni Fukong na sige i-pursue mo si Tyen pero kapag hindi ka tinanggap ni Tyen balik ka sa akin. Parang pero ako personally, bro, you shouldn't settle for that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just said that to Patty when we were watching. So, bro, what the hell?
Although I was convinced Later.
Girl, bye. I mean, ang dami-dami dyan. Bye.
Yeah. Oh my God, oh my God.
Totoo.
So, yun nga,
Kaya
di ba?
yan.
Isang missed opportunity rin yun. Tapos parang in the end, naging sila na. Tapos yung portrayal lang nun is magka-akbay sila. Parang,
Oo.
just
Yeah.
like a high five, magka-akbay, okay, everything
Ano ba?
good. Di ba? So parang, yun.
Ayun lang.
Thanks, Mark.
Yay! Napaka-insightful ng discussion natin. Although I find this discussion really more fruitful, I guess, siguro. Kasi hindi tayo ganun ka-stress compared to the first one. Medyo na-stress tayo. Ano so, yung pinag-isipan talaga natin. I really also I really like the composition of the group kasi we are coming from different backgrounds. If you notice, iba-iba tayo ng opinion. Although may commonality tayo in terms of insights pagdating sa series, no? But nag-iiba tayo ng sort of permutation ng insights and opinions. This is very nice, no? May iba nagsasabi na ayaw yung pasok ng OST, iba naman parang gusto ko sa River Mayan feels ganyan. But these are valid insights and reviews kasi we're different reviewers, so to say, no? So sa mga viewers po namin dyan, no? Yung dalawa nandyan. Just to let you know, we are avid watchers and fans. So this is our personal take on the series technically, no? So kung may opinion kayo, you can comment down below. Down below!
Actually, sa side.
Okay.
That
Yes,
side. Over there.
Tama. Okay, so sige, to cap off or to summarize our review, we are now getting into our BBS Kilig rating, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Yan. O, huwag na natin ipanghuli si Mark. Si Mark na yung una natin this time. Oh my God.
Gawin natin in reverse, no?
Mm.
Okay. Sige. Kilig meter. Kilig naman talaga. I mean, parang looking past the inconsistencies and everything that I've said earlier, pakalimutan na natin yon. Nakakakilig talaga. So I'll give it a 10. As like really a 10. Kasi
Okay.
ay parang for di ba 4 parts yun? 4 parts of watching the videos like per 10 minutes each or so. Parang
Yep.
you can yung pahinga lang ng bibig ko sa pagsa-smile is kapag napuputol yung part. Parang
Same.
you're smiling all throughout. Kasi
Right.
it parang while watching the series, it takes you in an adventure, it takes you in an experience. So naisip ako actually, naisip ko na lang lahat ng negative things na sinabi ko kanina after the series. So
Okay.
dun ko lang parang so while watching the series, nakakilig talaga siya. It's really a happy moment except for 11, for 12 and 13. Feeling ko talaga yung episodes na hanggang yung series dapat natapos na nung episode 11.
Yeah.
Same. Oh my gosh.
Yung sa abandoned na bus, parang okay na ako doon. Sana. Pero,
Same. And my kiss. Yun. Episode 11 pero may kiss.
yan.
Oo, kahit
Yes.
forehead kiss, pwede na ako.
Lakas mo. Lola.
Tita.
Ayun.
Sino ba yung sinabi?
Sino yan?
Si Patty, go.
Ako, okay.
Patty.
Happy meter. 10 talaga. Kinikilig talaga ako sa kanila.
Paglipad pa yan ang buhok niya, ha? Pak.
Oo, kinikilig talaga ako sa kanila. So, it's really a 10. As in, ito yung series
Okay.
na first time ko nakapanood ng series na 5 minutes in pa lang ng first episode 1. Yung ngiti ko hanggang dito na. First time yun. As in.
Ear to ear.
Tapos,
And
Okay.
from ear to ear.
oo, yung ear to ear ng ngiti talaga. At saka consistent yun until episode 11. Tapos, and then there's episode 12 and episode 13. So, meron ako, okay. Sige.
May
let's
episode
just-
12 and 13 ba? Nakalimutan ko eh.
Ano yun? Special
13
episode
episodes.
ba?
Alam ko 11 lang eh.
Anong stargazing. Yun. So,
Yan.
basta in terms of kilig talaga, kinilig talaga ako. As in, ito yung nilulook forward ko. Ito yung minarathon ko and then nilulook forward nung I marathon episodes 1 to 8. Tapos, sinabayan ko na siya come episode 9. Tapos, from episode 9 to episode 11, ito na yung, ito na yung nilulook forward ko every Friday ng gabi. So, Kinilig talaga ako. Tapos, yun lang yun. But not
Pero
looking
then,
past, looking past episode 12 and episode 13, iba talaga yung kilig ko ng episodes 1 to 11. So, I'll give it a 10. Yun.
Okay. Perfect.
Si
Alright,
Ange na
thanks,
yata.
Tati. Sino
ako
next?
na ba? Okay.
Yeah. Yanch, go.
Okay, so despite my many issues about episode 12, 13, the acting, the directing, lahat na, yung side characters, I'll also give it a 10. A bias rating of 10. Just
Bias rating.
because, um, yeah, but just because of my overall feelings while watching the series, like,
Correct.
it came out talaga sa parang very perfect na timing. I was so stressed and parang nung na-introduce ako sa kanya, I was parang laging looking forward to Fridays. And then,
Oy.
true. And I was also introduced to the BL world in general, which is,
Yeah.
yeah, it was my first love, kaya very biased talaga ako sa kanya. And
Yes.
yeah, ano pa ba? And I guess also because of the actors. I
Ang laking
really like
factor talaga.
I really like
Right.
Bright and Win even in person. So yeah,
Right.
it's a 10 for me. Episode 1 to 11.
Tripit talaga sa doon.
Ano tawag doon? May PSTD? Or PTSD?
PTSD.
PTSD.
Oh, post-traumatic PTSD.
So, kinakalimutan yung mga...
Natatawa ako, parang majority ng ano natin insights, puro okra. Tapos biglang 10 yung score natin.
Exactly. Kaya nga.
Kasi aminin natin, napakakilig talaga siya despite all its flaws,
I guess
diba?
it's a series talaga na hindi mo ma-explain no, bakit gusto mo siya.
Correct. You find flaws, but overall, you still like it.
Right.
Ayan
Kasi
na.
guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure.
Ayan na,
Yes.
exactly.
It is, exactly.
And you really just enjoy it as it is, as in.
Yeah.
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 Mm-mm.
So, Maya, go.
Okay.
Nagsalita ka na eh.
I will add the fourth 10. I'll also give it a 10. As
grabe.
it. No, kasi it's really one of my top 3 series ever since of all time. BL series top 3. So, I'll give it a perfect 10. Kasi nga parang it really kept you kilig all throughout. Tapos even if there are really plummets at the end or if you feel frustrations or inis at the end, those are still feelings that are valid for me and I like it. I like the strategy that they did some inis parts at the end. I still like it. Yun nga, as I said, overall, I have fond memories. You just enjoy it as it is. And I enjoy it. 10 for me.
Yay.
Siguro I'll go next. So, ako naman yung outlier.
Go!
Oh my gosh!
I'll give
Oh my
it an 8 for me.
Okay.
Uy, mataas pa rin yun, ah.
Hindi na outlier. Akala ko mag-3 ka or...
Hindi. Really, I enjoy the series naman talaga. May mga moments lang talaga na parang, parang hindi ko talaga na-gets. Tapos hindi na-explain, or yun nga, confusing, or yung pag-slice, mali-mali. Tapos parang, I can be overcritical at times as well. And I guess that's one of the things that affected my score talaga. Kasi parang, yes, overall, maganda yung maganda yung complete picture, no? Pero I think for me, yung mga flaws are too big. Especially at the end. So that's why,
True, I agree.
na-pull down niya talaga eh. Kasi parang, for me, if you're a scriptwriter, and not that I'm a scriptwriter or anything, pero if you're a scriptwriter talaga, parang you don't just focus on the first parts eh. You focus on everything, every bit. You focus on the details, etc. and so forth, diba? Kaya nga yung DBK ko 9 kasi there was that one thing that ay, alam mo yun? So, yun, parang here, 2 notches lower siya. Kasi I was thinking talaga na parang yung plot holes talaga, especially yung mga annoying flashbacks na yun, super downer talaga siya for me. And I feel na if they really wanted to do, like what Mark said, justice to the story and to the characters, they wouldn't have glossed it over or rushed through
Right.
things like that
Yep.
eh. Diba? So, it would have been a 10 if they had been able to napulido talaga nila yung mga parts na yun. So, that's why I'm giving it an 8.
Alright.
Don't you?
Okay, so since ako yung pinakahuli, ako yung pinaka-outlier. Okay.
6.
Hindi naman. I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
May mataas pa din
Mataas ka rin, mataas ka rin.
Sige, 5.
Kinabahan ako. Kasi i-average out natin to eh. And we will broadcast this.
Alright, so I'll give it a 7 siguro kasi overall, I know this is wrong kasi I tend to compare the series with the other season na panood ko eh. Mas kinilig ako sa next series natin. And then the other series also, no. Pero siguro the series alone, I'll have to say, I'll give it a 7 siguro kasi mas naging revealing pa sana yung mga scenes. Like, hindi lang high five. Like, the kiss was okay, but there could have been more. I mean, di ba? Maganda yung mga scenes na nasa enclosure sila eh. Pero that could have been I don't know, a starting point for them. Parang nakulangan ako dun sa kilig. I was happy the entire time. Pero yung kilig kasi parang gusto ko pa sanang mas kiligin pa. Yun lang. I'm giving it a 7. So, the average rating for the series, no?
It's still
Yes.
high.
Sige,
Ganda.
the rating is
Uy, mataas ka
9.7.
rin.
Uy, mataas.
Mataas ka rin to.
Oo.
Uy,
I think higher than DBK kasi for DBK we got 9.0 something and this is
Right.
1.
0.
actually, I forgot
Right.
what I gave for DBK. Yeah. Okay,
Ayan, so I think that was a really good discussion tonight, no? Siguro
Yeah.
anong next series natin?
Well, our next series is gonna be drum roll. Theory of Love.
Yay!
Ang pinakompare natin yung
Yeah.
yung Big
My God,
Four.
big fan! I'm a big fan! Grabe.
Alright, so again, guys, thank you very much for sharing your opinions. And also, for those who are watching, how many you are, again, these are all just our opinions. Of course, everyone is entitled to their opinions. You're entitled to your own as well. And if you want to comment on what we've said, if you want to share your thoughts as well, you can go ahead and do that. We're open to your comments. We're open to your inputs as well. Because that will also provide us some additional insight, diba? Maybe there was something that we missed, or maybe you can give us a different perspective on things. Let us know, no? So next week we're gonna be continuing our Bruhaha BL series on Theory of Love, and hopefully, if you're watching, please join us again, and you can tell your friends about it. So this is really just initially this was really just a forum for us to be able to talk about the series kasi usually ginagawa namin sa Messenger lang. So kumbaga parang minsan dahil busy yung mga tao, labo-labo na, parang sangkatutak na backread ang gagawa, tapos di ba mag-respond ka, tapos yung joke namatay na 48 hours ago pa.
Accurate.
To get together and really talk about it because we're really interested in this genre, not just because it's new, but because it's something that really resonates with us. So hopefully, diba, you guys join in on the conversation. So give us your comments, give us your thoughts, and hopefully you join us next week as well. So for all those watching, cup and a half. Any other thoughts?
Doesn't
guys?
happen.
ano pa yan? Gusto ko marinig ulit.
Soon happen.
So happen.
Any other thoughts, guys? Any other words before we end?
Manakan
Thank
yung
you, Ali, for watching.
POD.
Thank you, Sir Ali.
Thank you, Sir Ali, for sticking through to the end.
Ayan. I-view natin yung comments muna. So, si Sir Ali is congratulating us. Pak, o diba?
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sir Ali. At ano talaga siya, ha? Nag-thank you talaga siya ng ganitong oras. No? Alas 9, talagang he was really tuning in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ayan. And then itong question din from one of si Beno nag-comment, ano pong recommended niyo for new fans? We can talk about this in our other live sessions. No? Yun. Alright.
So that's it.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
guys.
much.
Thank
Open
you.
up
Again,
next week.
fun time talking
Bye,
with you guys.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
weekend.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Happy Friday, guys.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Bye.